Hello and welcome. Today's video, I'll show you how to make these strips super easy. Off we go. Alright, so today I'm going to show you a little trick here. I've got this sentiment stack die from LDRS Creative, and no, I'm not affiliated with LDRS in any way. It's just some stuff that I bought that I like and I'm trying to use. So what I'm doing here is I'm adding a little tape here to the back of this die because I'm going to cut my strips out later because there isn't a coordinating die to these Thoughts of You, and they are actually for letterpress or for the better press, but I'd like to foil with better press stuff just the same. So what I'm showing you is what the sentiments are, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to fit them in to the little spaces there on that template that I'll later use to cut them out. Now, a lot of companies sell the die, the coordinating die, to go with. I didn't find one on the LDRS site for these, so I'm just going to wing it here. And all I'm going to do is just put a little tape on the back of each one of these, and you notice I'm doing it on my foiling friend. You can do it on any piece of paper. I wouldn't recommend taping directly down to your glimmer machine. You can, but I don't want to. So I'm just using I accidentally printed a bunch of straight foiling friends, and so I'm using them for this because you'll see at the end of this video why, I don't care. So I'm just kind of getting them centered in that template, and they're easy enough to move around at first until they start getting warm, which is fine because I don't want them to move. I want to make several passes with all of them in the place. And what I know is that when I go to cut them out, they're all going to be in the right place to be cut out. So just adding, this is just some, I don't know, dot runner sort of tape runner thing, and just kind of getting them centered. You might obviously want to trim off the sides, which is not a big deal. My biggest thing is getting them straight, across. So when I'm trying to cut them, even on my chopper, on my guillotine, or any other paper cutter, I really struggle with getting them straight. So this is going to guarantee me that they are going to be straight. So I'm just fitting all of them in. Now there are some that are 2 rows that I won't be able to fit because drinking coffee here this morning. Obviously the strips aren't wide enough to fit 2 rows of words. So I'm just doing the single rows, and that's plenty for now. These are nice, like complimentary, like hello, and then whatever you want to say beneath it. Okay, so that's all of them, and I've got them all fit in here. Now I'm just going to pull up. I'm going to push them all down, and I'm just going to pull up this template that I set up, and we're ready to roll. So we'll get my glimmer going here. Get her plugged in. Try and keep it in frame here best I can, and never mind all that red you see. I forget what I was doing on that piece of paper, but it doesn't matter because by the end of this session I'm throwing that paper away. And it does, the foiling friend, as you know, or maybe you don't know, is something that's available in my Facebook group for free. So that Facebook group is also Not Afraid of Color. So I'm going to start out with some silver foil, and I've got some black shiny paper here that I got on Amazon, and I'll leave you a link down below. And the foil I'm using, I want to say it's Crafty Critta foil. Let's make sure that I don't cut it too big, and in the end it doesn't really matter. Because I'm cutting them out, but I still don't want the overfoiling that you might get from cutting them too big. So I'll just set the foil shiny side down, and then set my paper shiny side down, and I'll set the timer. And of course I will cut out those parts so you don't have to wait for my timer. I'm going to go ahead and pull and run it through my die cut machine. And then in some cases, depending on the foil and the paper, I might get some overfoiling, which is easy enough to deal with as well. Okay, so let's pull this out. And what I've done is, in many cases, I've pre-cut all my foil and papers ahead of time, so I can just run this assembly line fashion. So let's go ahead and pull this. And I can see that there's quite a bit of overfoiling. And I mean, you can expect that, of course, with a tight fit die. And most of this I can just wipe off with my fingers or a brush. And I'm trying to do it. You can see the foil flying everywhere. So I'm going to have to move off to over by my trash can to continue that. So give me just a minute here to get that as much scraped off as I can. And what I'm using is just a little brush. Okay, so I've got most of it off of there, and you can see the little flakiness all over the place. But it's easy enough to just kind of clean it off. And then if you need be, you can use a little bit of tape, roll it up around your fingers, and I'll show you that later. So here I'm using some clear foil. And this, this is also from Crafty Critta. And you might say, well, why would you want to use clear foil? Well, I can ink blend over it, and then the letters will still stay white, so it can be any color or combination of colors I want it to be on those strips. So we'll go ahead and run the clear ones through. Hope y'all are having a good day today. It's cold here in North Alabama today. Woke up this morning, it was 24 degrees. And I know for some of you, you're like, here, hold my Coke. But it's pretty doggone cold for the South. All right, so let's go ahead and pull this. I do want to let it cool for a second, so I'll go ahead and start another timer with some more foil and paper. I'm going to use some shiny gold this time. And I couldn't tell you the names of the foils. Shiny gold. It's called shiny gold, I guess. I'm just going to cut a small piece of it here to just make sure it covers all my words. And notice I have them sort of catty corner, and I want them that way so it doesn't bump as hard when you run it through. We'll go ahead and set the timer, then we'll reveal this one. And of course, you're not going to be able to see it very well because it's clear foil. But I'll show you at the end of the video what it looks like with some ink blended over it. Can you see it there? So it just looks indented in there, but that foil will resist the inks. So that's the cool part. And then we'll go ahead and pull the gold one and run it through. Now, there were a couple that failed, and it'll happen. So, take heart. You can still, use some of them or start over, whatever. Okay, so this one I did on the black. I had a lot of good luck with this black shiny paper, and this is actually mirror cardstock, but because it's black, it doesn't really look like a mirror. So we'll go ahead and set up our next pieces. And I have no idea what colors I put down there. I guess we'll be surprised when I pull it off. Okay, let's go ahead and reveal this one. See, that one foiled absolutely perfectly. No skips, no overfoiling. So really, sometimes you'll get it on some passes and not on others with the same supplies. But I do find that sometimes the more sparkly foils look overfoiled or weird because the way the sparkles hit in the indentations, I think. All right, let's see, what kind of surprise do we have? Oh, the rainbow on black. Okay, cool. Don't reveal that just yet. Let's go ahead and get another one going here. And I'm doing quite a few so that I have myself a good stash. And you could use, like I said, any strip die type thing as long as your little foil plates will fit in between the rungs. All right, let's reveal our rainbow. Very pretty. It's got a little bit of overfoiling, not a big deal. That's going to be easy to take off. And I'll use a piece of tape to take that off. So just grab some washi tape. Let me try and stay in frame here for you. And my washi tape's over there. You've seen it. It hangs up. And I just kind of rolled it up, and then I'm just tapping down on the paper with the washi tape, and it's picking up all that excess foil. So now I've got myself some rainbows on some black shiny cardstock. I love the rainbows. Yes. Rainbows for days. All right, let's run this one through, and I don't remember what color I put in there either. You would think that I'd write this down. Well, pardon that interruption. I don't know what it is, but whenever Mike goes somewhere, he calls me from wherever he is to see if I need something. Whatever. So sorry about that. Anyways, I couldn't catch the phone in time to reject his call, and then I would hate it if there was an emergency, and I sure didn't want to do the whole voiceover again. So there we go. All right. I don't know what color I'm using there, but we're going to find out here in a minute. There's the gold one. So that was a matte gold. And I had a little boo-boo down there by the hello you. I'm pretty sure I'm able to get that up with some tape though. Mostly. Good enough. They're nice and clear. I think that the letterpress dies do really wonderfully for foiling. All right, let's run this one through. I don't know. I'm not sure if this is recording or not, so let me stop it and see. Okay, yep, we're still recording. Oh, I'm telling you, I just started doing this on my Macintosh. Generally, I was taking it over to my iPad and doing it from my iPad, so be from my phone to my Mac for editing to my iPad for voiceover. It's just too much work. So I'm just doing it from my Mac. I wasn't crazy about the sound, but it'll be fine. And there we are with the matte gold on white. I love the matte gold. It's my favorite one besides the black. And I do a black, but it doesn't turn out. I'm not sure why. And I didn't try it again. But for whatever reason, it underfoiled, so I probably needed a shim with that black. Which was weird because it's all the same brand foil, but, you know, different manufacturers, so you just never know. You have to try it. I think this is the black one I'm putting down now on white paper. All right, set the timer on that thing. Wait for it to heat up. There we go. And we'll go ahead and reveal that. And that was the holographic silver on the black, and I'm gonna try and salvage that. It's pretty heavily overfoiled. Something that, you know, typically the little specks of foil that you see there along the edges, if those don't come up, I'm done, but they're coming up just fine. Look at that. And this again is with just some washi tape, so no problemo. Some better than others, and I have to turn the tape because it gets full of foil. But as long as it comes up, mostly, I'm happy. As long as you can read the words, because they are going to be cut out. Yeah, this is working just fine. It especially works on this black mirror cardstock. This stuff is amazing for foiling. And it's a heavy cardstock too. It's probably about 100 pounds. Yeah, it feels to be about 100 pounds. Let me see, here's the hammer mill. Yep, about 100 pounds. All right, let's run this one through and see where we go. Appreciate you guys hanging in there with me and watching my videos and giving me thumbs ups and things like that. It's really awesome. I'm happy. All right, let's see what happened here. Yeah, this was the black one, and I think it underfoiled and made me not happy. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug my glimmer because I'm done with it. We've done a lot of them. And let's get the platinum out of the way because I'm going to use my Empress, my mini Empress, to cut these out. can't be asked to go find the plates to my spellbinders. They're actually just right over there, but yeah. I just like my mini Empress. So I'm going to line those up, and at first I'm thinking I'm going to tape those, and then I remember I don't need to tape them because the mini Empress has a magnetic plate. So let's get that out and get this magnetized down to the plate. And I'll cut this first one out on camera, and I'll cut the rest off camera because, you know, I mean, it's pretty tedious watching people cut stuff. And then what I do is I take the waste foil or the leftover foil, and with the empty spaces or the negative spaces, and I will foil those on my Crafty Critta toner sheets, on the white and on the rainbow one, and I think on a purple one, so that I get, you know, double my money. As long as, look, some of the ones that are heavily overfoiled, they're just not going to be cleared. So I'm only going to do the ones that foiled perfectly, because I don't want a bunch of fuzzy words. Let's pull this up. And then all those extra strips, we can use those too. There's no waste here. Do not throw those away. And maybe you have more sentiments that'll fit in there that, you know, or maybe from a different company or something like that. You know, fit what you can in there. Make your life easy. Let's just dump these. I'm just going to bend that mat so they fall off. I have perfect sentiment strips that are foiled. So the I think the plate, the not the hot foil plates, but the Thoughts of You letterpress, I think were about $15, and then that that LDRS sentiment strip cutter was about $18, I think. I, of course, got them on sale. But here's all the strips, and see, there's the one that you can, that I colored with just I think I used some of that Lisa Horton, and here are some of the negative foiled ones. So I've got strips for days here. There, I did one on white toner, a white toner sheet from Crafty Critta. So you can see I've got a mountain of sentiment strips. There we go. There's one that was hot foiled, and then one was reverse foiled, same words. And then just again, I'll show you what I have here that I used, which is the Sentiment Stack 2 die. And you can buy lots of different stamps for those. So that's why I bought that, because I thought it was a great value. And I have some Christmas ones. And then here are the letterpress ones. The impression letterpress is what they call them, Thoughts of You. And I am going to show you how I take those off, because remember I taped them down. I don't know what's on there, a piece of foil or something. And here's the little strips, and I'll save those as well, because you can stack them, you know, underneath to build up your sentiment if you want, you know, if you want to go Jennifer McGuire style. You've already got a bunch of strips ready to go. And I know if you watch Jennifer, you know what I'm talking about. She doesn't like to use foam tape as much as she likes to use strips of paper. And I said goodbye, but then I decided to come back and show you how the foiling friend ends up. You know, you're ripping it. It doesn't matter. It's garbage. It can be thrown away. And the paper peels off the back of the dies very easily. So then I can just put them back. Try and get them on there straight. I'll probably end up putting them on a magnet, but for now I'm putting them back where they go. See, and I get most of it off just by pulling it up. And I can just pull off my foiling friend and throw it away. Put a new one on for next time. And then I wanted to show you that I used mostly my scraps from my Crafty Critta colored toner sheets. There we go. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.